Hi, today we are speaking with Mrs. Nilma Dole-Williams, who is the cricket coach and the wife of the British Ambassador of Cambodia, Mr. Dominic Williams. Her journey has taken her around the world. She has played for the women's cricket team of Peruvian and became the first female coach of colours at Brighton and Hove Cricket Club. She is now running cricket programs and helping out the communities in Cambodia. Her story is inspiring many young girls in Sri Lanka and in many other countries. So, Nilma, can you take us back to your childhood and tell us how your sports and cricket helped you to shape your early life?
First of all, Yasmita, thank you so much for having me on the show. It's been amazing to be back in Sri Lanka. So first of all, thank you for that. Yes, of course. I mean, I was born in Sri Lanka. I'm from Kandy. I come from a sort of conservative Sri Lankan Malay family. So as you can imagine, it's a bit traditional and conservative. So when I was young, I was told that cricket is not a sport for a young lady. And as you know, we listened to what our parents said. And it was quite difficult to break out of this stereotype where you are a Sri Lankan girl and expected to, get married at the right age and settle down. But I always had this thing for sports, especially cricket, and I was always passionate about it. I didn't really realize that until I was much older, but there was a fire within me and I wanted to do something positive with my life. But of course, you have to be careful. I'm very proud of my culture, the diversity and the amazing, rich vibrancy that I come with. And also, even though I'm from the Malay community, I also have a bit of diversity with our family. So mom's father was Bengali from Calcutta, and also I have Sinhala and Tamil blood in me as well. So we had to do as we were told, but also I felt I could also be myself, and I was very proud of being a Sri Lankan born person and a woman to help others. So yes.
So you have mentioned that Sri Lanka's 1996 championship has inspired you a lot. How did that moment resonate you, even though you were not playing actively at that time?
Yeah, it's very true. 1996 World Cup, when Sri Lanka, very humble country, the 1996 Sri Lanka national team, the men's team, they came from very humble beginnings and they used the negativity as a catalyst to succeed. People thought Sri Lanka wouldn't even qualify to even semi-finals, quarterfinals, and they just became an inspiration to others. Like the fact that they used that negativity and turned it into something positive was just amazing and phenomenal. So when I saw the then captain Arjuna Ranatunga getting the World Cup trophy, the Cricket World Cup, by the then Prime Minister of Pakistan, Benazir Bhutto, it was etched in my mind, and I just couldn't believe that this could happen to a country as small as us. And we didn't have much in the way of facilities, and majority of the team didn't even speak good English, but they also didn't have the facilities that other countries have, like Australia and England, and the wealth of talent like in India. But the fact that they just shine through and won the World Cup was a real, it struck a chord in me. And I think that's when I realized that cricket has a positive impact. It can be the sport of peace. And I remember that time was still the war. In 96, the war was still going on, but people set aside their differences and they came together. It didn't matter which religion, which race, wherever you were from, which part of Sri Lanka you were from, everyone united because cricket brought us together, and that's amazing.
Yes, yeah. That's true. So you became the first British diplomatic spouse to represent a host country in cricket. What challenge did you face in breaking cultural barriers?
Yeah, it's true. I was the first British diplomatic spouse in the world to play for a host country. A host country is not the country I was born to, but the country that my husband was posted to. Now, this never happened, even in any sport. According to my knowledge, it wasn't, but I was definitely the first cricket player. So I only took cricket as a mechanism to cope when my husband was posted to Peru. I didn't speak Spanish at the time. I was with a small young baby and I didn't know anyone, no friends. So I I heard about the Lima Cricket and Football Club. It is the oldest sports club in South America. And these girls were just playing cricket, and I was surprised. Cricket in South America? I never heard of it. So they told me, come and train with us and you can play for the team. And I didn't realize it at the time, but I was playing for the Peruvian women's national team. They said, oh, let's go on a tour, and I didn't believe it. But we did the South American Women's Cricket Championships for just the South Americas, and it was amazing because I did 2 tours. I did one in 2015 and 2016, and then winning the bronze medal was amazing because this was part of that amazing thing of, even though that I was lonely and I felt isolated in Peru, I used this cricket to help me be positive, and that was amazing.
Yeah. That's so inspiring. So winning a bronze medal at Peru for the South American Women's Championship is remarkable. So how did that boost your confidence?
Yes, that's a good question, Jasmine. So what I did was, with the team, we only started with just 2 Peruvian girls in the team because Latin American culture, they objectify women a lot. And even though there is support for women, it's not as much as they would like to have, especially in sports. They don't really get supported, and they don't really get that kind of funding and backing that they need, especially not like even Sri Lanka, to be honest. But we used cricket as a female empowerment sport, and what we did was we increased that Peruvian team, the women's team, into an all Peruvian girls team, which was amazing because we had to go out there, bring the bronze medal and show them that this can be done, that nobody can reject you or suppress you. You can use that cricket to really become someone. So they were really impressed. So I'm really proud that all our efforts together with the team and the Peruvian Cricket, the federation, we also got, at that time, got sponsors. And then what happened was, it's amazing that the ICC, the International Cricket Council, gave them associate membership. So really it resulted in a positive thing for them. So, yeah.
So how did you cope with life transitions like evacuating Nigeria in 2020 and returning back to UK in the global crisis?
Yes, of course. I think everyone has a COVID story. Everyone had suffered in some way. For me, I think cricket came to the rescue. My husband's posting at the time was in Abuja, in Nigeria, and it wasn't an easy country. Of course, there was still the Boko Haram war, but I had been through all of this, having gone through my life experiences. But the thing I would say was, when I arrived in the UK, as long as you were socially distant and followed all the guidelines, you could play for your local sports club as long as you followed the rules. So I remember joining the Brighton and Hove Cricket Club in Sussex. So our county was Sussex, and I was so inspired by the team. They were really welcoming. They welcomed me with arms open. Of course, not all of them, because it's not easy to accept a Sri Lankan born, especially someone like me, like a diplomatic spouse. I haven't really lived in the UK by that point. So I remember playing for a couple of fixtures, as they call it there. And then I was so inspired because they were doing this coaching bursary. So they were giving women of color, women from underrepresented groups, people from communities to do cricket coaching. And it was amazing to encourage them to do it. So when I did my level 1 qualification in cricket, I became the first female coach of colour there at Brighton and Hove in the cricket club. And I did more in the way of supporting girls of colour, girls who look like me. They would have been born and brought up in the UK, but they didn't have the recognition and the support where they could join this talent pathway. So what I did was I supported them. I went and I became a coach. So they were surprised to see a woman like, who are you? Are you here to pour the tea? You get this stereotypical thinking, especially from white men who are there. They are the seniors in the management. So they were pleasantly surprised when I said, look, I've played cricket professionally. I'm a cricket coach, and now I'm a British citizen. But more than that, I'm a British diplomatic passport holder, which is way more than a lot of British people. So it was proud to be able to go back to the UK and give back in some way. So yeah,
that's so interesting. So you have been actively involved in developing cricket culture in the country. How do you approach that?
in Cambodia,
Yes.
right? Yeah, exactly. So cricket in Cambodia never really existed. There's no culture as such. But the thing was, in 2022, the ICC decided to give associate membership. This was the time when they were going to host the SEA Games, which is called the Southeast Asian Games, and they were building this big national stadium to host that. So alongside that, they built a cricket pitch, and then they did this whole thing of trying to bring in a cricket culture. But it was all foreigners. They never supported Cambodians to go and play cricket, which was really unfortunate, because at the time the ICC gave you an allowance to build the cricket, but I didn't see that. So I had to be careful. I couldn't fight with the Cricket Federation. I'm the diplomat's wife, right? I don't want to get into any scandals. So I did my own thing. I set up after-school cricket clubs. I did pilot projects. I did taster sessions. And it wasn't easy at the beginning, because it's like, what's cricket? What are you doing with a bat and a ball and sticks? And I'm like, I had to go and explain it to them. And it was not easy. But now I just saw the success of my after-school cricket clubs. And there's now a waiting list for one of my clubs at one of the schools there. But I didn't realize how impactful and how positive this would be. But I'm optimistic. I think cricket will be good, because in 2028, Los Angeles, cricket will be made an Olympic sport. Yeah. So that's a good way for Cambodia also to shine. They've never had an Olympic medal at all in the past, I think, several years that they've been participating. So maybe there's hope for Cambodia in the future.
So where do you see women's cricket heading in Cambodia in next 5 to 10 years?
Yes, I see it being a very positive sport, because the good thing about cricket is different from other games, right? Other sports. You can be a good batter and a good bowler and a good fielder. You don't have to be an all-round all the time. You can be professional in different ways. It's like how cricket developed here in Sri Lanka, right? I take Sri Lanka as an example. Now you see right now with the Women's World Cup going on, and we see our team, like for me, I still support Sri Lanka in some way, and seeing amazing role models like Chamariyatpattu, they're just phenomenal. Like they came out of humble beginnings, and now they're like role models to this younger generation. So I really look up to them, and the fact that Cambodia also can have role models like her. But also the other thing is, you should remember, Cambodia is a country that had a lot of trauma. They had a terrible war called the Khmer Rouge genocide, where Pol Pot, the dictator, they had massacred so many people. So they have a lot of generational trauma. So what I'm doing with the cricket is I'm using it as a mechanism for them to be empowered by using sports as a way to combat that trauma, so that they can use that sport to help uplift a lot of the lives, especially girls, because they're always suppressed. And maybe someday, who knows, Cambodia will get their first female prime minister. And that's what I hope, because sports give you leadership skills, especially for women, to have a community rather than gossiping and going behind everyone's back. At least they can come together, set aside their differences, and play as a team. And this is really good for leadership and developing their skills. So I'm optimistic. It'll be good.
So you have broken multiple barriers in multiple countries. So how do you define success for yourself, apart from awards, medals, and even recognition?
Yashmita, I don't really think I've broken many barriers. I just want to inspire others. The reason why I really wanted to be in Sri Lanka, especially during this time, is to inspire young girls. And I think it's difficult being a Sri Lankan girl coming from a conservative family, and even for me, on top of all of that, being a Malay girl, it's not easy. But I think not that I've broken barriers, I have really strived, I've overcome obstacles to say, look, I also deserve it. I also want to achieve something. And the good thing was, people are recognizing me. I won a scholarship recently to do my master's. That's given to women in sports back in the UK. I'm hoping to also get, a bit more on, do more on cricket in the UK, like get on a cricket board, which I haven't never got. And the other thing is to inspire more girls of color like me to join the England women's national cricket team, because when you have diverse players from all backgrounds, then they can actually win World Cups. They have people coming from different skills and experiences to come together to, have a good goal and positive goal of winning. positive mentality that works. Yeah.
So throughout your remarkable journey, who have been your key supporters guiding you throughout your career, coaching and family?
Yeah, I have to say my husband. He's the British ambassador to Cambodia. He's lovely. My husband is great. I also have 2 lovely children. They're amazing. But it's not just my family. I would say everybody. I mean, from the time I came from Sri Lanka, my family here, the support that I have got from people here. I mean, whenever people, when I talk about cricket, they don't say, oh no, why are you playing cricket? Now they say, yeah, you should go and play cricket. Maybe you should do that. And I would say that I'm really happy to be able to be a Sri Lankan born girl who has come from complete negativity to turn it into something positive with help from not only my husband and the family, my in-laws, my parents, everybody, and also the Foreign Office and my county back in Sussex. I think everybody who connect with me, they really build me up, and even the women in the UK and the women here, I think all of the cricketers around the world have always inspired me, because they always tell me never to give up and to keep fighting and that's a good thing.
And so finally, looking around, what's the advice you will give to the young girls in Sri Lanka who would love to achieve more in sports?
Yeah, very good question. Of course, my first thing is never give up, and at any stage in life, no matter how young or how old, whatever, don't listen to anyone. I was 30 years old. I had already got married and I had my first baby. My first baby was 5 months old when I started training for cricket. And then about, after that, I picked a bat and ball and I played national cricket, and that's something amazing, right? You never think, you think, oh, I'm not young or I'm not fit anymore, and you should never discourage yourself. Even if you're not the fittest person or the most active person with the best stamina, don't ever discourage yourself. It's never too late. And also the other thing is, coming from this conservative culture, it's not easy to change the mindset of people around you, especially your own family. And I think it was hard. My father played rugby for Sri Lanka, and how I have the sporting genes, but I told my father, look, if I have a gift to give to the world, I should be able to give it. Yeah. So now he's very supportive and very proud of me. I'm so happy that I could change the mindset, especially of the Sri Lankan male, the males in my family. But more than that, I would say just be positive and work together, because you need a good group around you. Go and build your army of amazing women or supporters or mentors. Go out there and find a mentor. Go and achieve things that you can do. Don't ever give up. People will discourage you, and no matter how difficult it is, you will face challenges. But whatever you face, you should always overcome it, and never ever never say never. Use the negativity into something positive and believe in yourself.
Thank you so much. That was a nice conversation.
Thank
it's going to inspire many girls too.
Thank you so much, Justin.